Hello and welcome to DPN TV here at the DPN Car Collection. I thought this might be of interest. It's actually a job we started and we were having difficulties getting warm air through the heater system. So we expected there was some kind of problem, either a severe airlock or there was some kind of blockage, which is the route we took. So we wanted to disconnect the heater matrix under the bonnet, and once we'd done that, have a look and check that the water would flow through that, and also check the little tap, because when you adjust your heating to hot or cold, of course there's a cable, and that goes through to this little tap, which is the bit I thought you might be interested in. I'll show you where that is under the bonnet a little bit later. And basically when you pull the cable, it's actually operating this little valve so you get warm water coming through your heater matrix or not. And if you have a little look down there, you can see that that is completely open, and then as I pull the valve, it then shuts off the water. Now this didn't actually look that blocked, but when we washed it through, quite a lot of dirt come out of it. So we're hoping that might make a difference. And we've also flushed the radiator, and that did seem to flow, but if there was anything in there, we've certainly flushed that through. What I'll do now is show you the stage we're at and what it looks like under bonnet, but also show you how it would look when you started the job and what you would need to move, or what might be worth moving to get this tap out, as maybe the tap is completely broken, this sort of tap valve, or you want to check it like we have done. But yeah, actually it's sort of quite nicely built and far from seized. It even tells you on there, if you can see that, what way is open or shut. They are, it's focused in there. So yeah, we'll move under the bonnet now and show you the next stage. So as I said, because we started working on this car, I thought I'd show you how it looks on our other car. So I'll just bring you across here and show you what we've removed to gain access to the heater matrix from this car, and then bring you back to show you all open, which is probably easier than trying to show you as we do the job, I think, because there's quite a lot of bits in the way, mainly the ECU computer box. I'm just going to go around the other side of the car and I'll show you a little bit more. But before we do that, if I come around here and move that out the way and point you down there, there is that valve tap that we were just looking at. So there it is there. So we're now standing on the passenger side of the car before we're on the driver's side of the car, and this is to give you a little bit of a better look down this side of the car and give you that view. And what I'm going to do in a minute is put a torch on and just show you where the heater hoses go into the matrix. Right, so we're now looking down behind the ECU, and you can just see down there the two pipes going into the heater matrix. The one furthest away from us is what connects to that little tap, and basically they both run along to this heater hose down here. And you can see there's like that little rubber joining piece that joins those two hoses together. They come from the block of the engine, the thermostat, and then off to the heater matrix. And if you see that joining piece that's just there on my finger, it's not just a joining piece, there's actually a water passage through there, and that's so that when you turn the heater off, the water can still flow around. It sort of bypasses through that. When you turn the heater on, it runs through the heater, and it's always worth checking that that is not blocked, because we did have a problem on a car where that had actually blocked, and it caused almost like airlocks in the system. It almost appeared as a head gasket when it wasn't, and that's what we wanted to check on ours, that wasn't blocked. And also the radiator, the heater matrix wasn't blocked as well. So yeah, they're the things. And as I said, I thought I'd just show you it laid out as it is before we removed it all, to give you a rough idea how it's going to look. Because I say what we decided to do was remove the ECU in the car to give us better access to those heater pipes just down there for when we remove them. Right, so I'm standing back over at the passenger side of the car. So as I say, we removed this ECU. We didn't actually unplug it, but what we did was removed the fixing bolt. So it's one there, one there. There's nothing that side, or shouldn't be, and the other one is right down in there, lining up with the heater valve. And that's the thing, the heater valve and the ECU frame are held on with the one bolt at the bottom, and that really is, as you can see, a very fiddly job to get in, but it is doable. If I just pan out, you can see that's the heater valve off of the car we're working on, and that's sitting in there like that, as you can see down there. And there's the fixing bolt there, and it has this little hose off of it that goes into the heater matrix. And the cable is, if I just put that down there on the engine, the cable is clamped in here and then hooks over the little valve, which once you've got it all a little bit looser, you can then unclip this and just hook the cable off of that valve, and hopefully I can show you all that when we're putting it back on. As we come back to the car we're working on, as you can see, what we've done is got the computer or ECU unbolted and up a lot higher. And what we've also done is covered it in plastic, so that when we washed the heater through, no water got on it, or if it did, it wasn't likely to really get into it. If you look down in here, you'll be able to see those two little copper looking pipes, or goldy looking pipes. They're the heater matrix, and we've got our hoses removed from that. And what we did was put a hose over the end of one of those and washed it through, and so we didn't lose too much water from the system. We've hose clamped the two hoses that go off into that, and you can see just down there now, we've now got the little valve I was showing you, the heater valve that you operate when you're turning your hot and cold in your ventilation system back on. You can see there, that little orange bit just there is the cable, and you can see how it clips onto the frame there and then goes over the little lever there. So we've just got that float at the moment, and then we'll connect up the hoses each side, so that will be back in. Right, so while we've got the view of this, we're looking at the back of the engine. You can just see over to the bottom corner of the screen is that valve we've been fitting back. You can see how we clamped the pipes either side of that joining piece there, but if you see, one is clamped on the top and one is clamped on the bottom pipe, and what that allowed us to do was flush water through the top pipe there that's going off to the valve and let it run out this bottom pipe here. It couldn't flow into the heater system, but what it could do is check that that little adjoining piece of rubber there, the pipe through that, was clear. Hopefully that gives you a rough idea of what we did there. And if I pan the camera around, you can hopefully see now the little piece of hose that runs from the heater matrix up to our valve is connected, and the cable's on. Now again, it's a very fiddly job. You see what a struggle it is to get our camera in there. You can imagine trying to get your hands in there, and doing it is even more difficult, but it's just a case of persevering. Hopefully us showing you what it looks like gives you some idea of how it should look, and how it works, and what sort of job is involved, and some of the things you can try if you are worried about any blockages in the pipes or your heater system. And as you can see at the moment, the valve is closed. That's where you can see most of the cable, and when you can see hardly any of the cable, the valve is open. So now that's all back together, what you can see is that we've got the valve side connected, the tap side, but the opposite side, the heater matrix, the hose is still off. What we're going to do is pour water in the system and then open the valve and check that water does flow through that valve, through the heater matrix, and should come out of that open pipe, that sort of copper pipe there. It should flow out. So that's the next test we're going to do before we connect the other side of the pipes up. And it'll also make sure water is flowing through before we connect it up. Right, so we're back inside after doing that little video on flushing out the heater matrix and checking that the little valve that turns your hot air on and off, effectively turning the water flow on and off through the heater matrix, weren't blocked. We found that it wasn't blocked, but it's ruled this sort of flow problem out. As you'll be seeing from the videos we're doing, we started off with a misfire and we changed the leads and the coil, and that does seem to have cured that, but we've still got this flow problem where we're not getting hot water through the heater matrix. So the first thing we want to do was check that that wasn't blocked. Now, of course, it could be an air lock or any other number of reasons, a flow reason, but we wanted to check that wasn't blocked. A bit of a difficult video to show. And that's why I kind of started it where we were halfway through the job, to try and show you all open, but also how it would look when you started. Not fully the ideal sort of video I'd like to show, but hopefully it gives you some idea and an insight into what you can do and what might be involved in that job, which is always our aim. As always, don't forget to look at other videos we do, especially in this series, as we hopefully try and sort this problem out. And also don't forget to look at our Instagram and Twitter page as well.